In this video, you need to listen, follow along, and write down everything I do. So the very first example, I'm going to do all the work. You just have to follow along, try to understand what I'm saying, and write down everything that I write down. So we've got two functions to start with. So right away, I've got f of x equals x squared plus 12. So I'm going to look for which ones are asking me to use the function f of x, and I see only this one is asking me to use that. And then I see the function g of x, and I see that these two are asking me to use g of x. So that way I know which functions to use. So for this one, I see f of 4. Something you might think about memorizing is that f of the input equals output. In other words, f of x always equals y. This is something that if you can memorize it and write it at the top of every page, it might help you out. So f of 4 means I have an input of 4. Okay? That means I'm going to use a value of x equals 4 and try to find the output. So in my equation, I'm going to put 4 in place of x. I'll follow order of operations. I get the answer for 4 squared is 16. And then I add these two together, and I get 28. And then writing my answer in function notation, f of 4 equals 28, because an input of 4 has an output of 28. Same with this one. I'm going to use an input of -2. I'm going to use this function, g of x, here. And I'm going to use an input of -2, which means -2 is an x. So I'll use 5 times -2 minus 8. That'd be -10 minus 8, which is -18. So g of -2 equals -18. This one is asking me to find x. That means I don't know x like I did in these first two. So g of x equals 52 gives me an output of 52. So that means I'm going to set my rule equal to 52, and then I'm going to solve. So I'll add 8. Then I'll divide, and I'll get my answer. Writing that in function notation, f of 12 equals 52. 12 is the x value that gets me an output of 52. On this side, you are going to try the same thing. You're going to pause the video after I get done talking, try them on your own, and then press play when you're ready for me to go through the answers. So you've got two functions again, you've got 3 things to evaluate, and I want you to try these on your own. So pause the video and then press play when you're ready for me to go through the answers. Alright, on this problem you should have used an x of 8 or an input of 8, so you should have done 10 times 8 plus 6, which will get you 86. Which means h of 8 equals 86. This one, I'm going to use the same function, h of x, and I'm going to find x this time, so this means I know the output. So I'm going to set the output equal to 10x plus 6. Then I'm going to solve, so I'm going to subtract 6, divide by 10, and I'll get x equal to -2. Written in function notation, h of -2 equals -14. Go back up here, I found this value to be -2. Lastly, j of 5, I'm going to use this function and do 5 squared plus 5, or 25 plus 5, which is 30, which means j of 5 equals 30. Okay. Your next step is to do the independent practice. So there should be some on the back of your paper. You're going to try the rest of those on your own. you're going to make sure you check your work, and you're going to ask your teacher for help if needed. The check your work step is very important because you need to make sure that you're doing it correctly. It would not do you any good to practice the whole worksheet incorrect. So you need to make sure that you go up to the board and check your work.